we're looking for unusual things in our job interviews. We're looking for a complete lack of experience. We're looking for someone who's had a really hard time in coming to grips with how to get a job and keep a job. We're also looking for someone who really needs some way to get some experience. And then the fourth thing is someone who really wants to do it.
People told me when I started this that I couldn't do it. There's no way that that young person, the people that I wanted to draw my labor pool from, could help us be successful. We've proven them wrong hundreds of times.
Many of the young people that apply here for jobs have been homeless or are in a shelter or couch surfing for some time. There's a whole other group that are in, whether it's the sex trade or have been drug abusers or have just had a really difficult life with abuse. That's another group that we encounter who have a whole host of other barriers to being employed full-time and finding housing and all those other things. And we are an opportunity for them to have an empathetic work environment.
My mom is sick, mentally sick, and my father was in jail, he's an alcoholic. And I had cancer when I was a baby, so I was adopted to my aunt and my uncle since I was 5, and I lived with her till I was 20, till I could take it no more. And then I moved out, and I came to Toronto.
Before I was just bumming around, you know what I mean? Bumming around. I was in and out of shelters. I was just, always going to friend's house. Never having any money. I would have to steal and whatnot.
All Aboard started in 1996, and the idea is to create a business that provides an opportunity for young people in the city of Toronto who are struggling to find work, who have little in the way of employment, have less than a grade 12 education, the opportunity to have a job. Really a transitionary job to put them into the workforce. And River opened up its doors in June of 1998, and we've been served thousands and thousands of customers since.
Well, there's a lot of technical skills involved in the kitchen work, where you're working with everything from dishwashing all the way to grills and pans and vegetables and sauces and all that extraordinarily good cooking stuff. And then in the front of the house, you're learning the usual sort of hosting, bussing, tables, learning how to talk about the menu, understanding what's involved in preparing all of the items, and then learning about the wines and how to make chocolate martinis and things like that. So that's a lot of learning.
It really is a practical environment where you don't need much book learning, you don't need much experience, and you can work from the ground up. You're dealing with people that might not know the difference between carrots and broccoli, let alone pork tenderloin and linguine or whatever. It's about placing people in an entirely new context, and then that being enough of a shake to be able to reevaluate themselves and their skills and what they can do, and totally kind of reform their way of thinking about life.
Sabrina started with us just about a year ago. Had a rough start. Sort of had to change the lifestyle she was living in order to stay here with us.
I was going through a lot in my life. I had no place to live. I was staying with friends, so I was partying a lot, and they really gave me a chance. They should have fired me. They really helped me out, and they gave me a chance to clean myself up and take it seriously.
She really came through, and she's ended up being one of our star employees, and since has been made a supervisor and carries a key to the restaurant. If you weren't going to be somewhat tolerant or lenient or understanding of the youth, then you'd just be a regular restaurant and you wouldn't really be much help to them at all.
They're not just giving you advice on how to carry a tray or how to open a wine bottle or how to like talk to customers. They give you advice on just natural everyday life, on relationships and budgeting and, you know, like everything.
A young person who is in a very difficult situation, be it you know, an economically disadvantaged or on the streets, they're living moment to moment. And they're worried about money, they're worried about their debts, they're worried about people around them. They can't think about the rest of their lives. Whereas I had an opportunity to go to university, which is often a great place for all of us to contemplate our future. We hope that this place also serves them that way also. And that's been true, absolutely.
I think many youth without the opportunity to work in an environment like River would be pretty much left in the shelter system. And once you're in that kind of system and you start getting older and you're in the adult shelters, it's not a great life. And it's quite hard to break that cycle, to get a job once you've been without a job for so long. And your life starts to deteriorate as well. You lose the confidence, you start to de-skill yourself, so the skills you might have had at the beginning you don't have, or don't feel you have. So it's not a great outlook for a youth that can't find any way to stabilize an income. Income is so important, having a livable wage. It really is the sort of key to getting everything else to fall into place.
Once you help yourself, then you could help others around you. But until you realize that you have to help yourself first, then everything around you will just get worse. Like the problems will just keep coming. But if you've chosen a path through your life where you want to get a job and you want to get your own apartment, and you feel a lot better about yourself.
At River, we've worked with over 200 young people. And of those 200 young people, over 85% of them have gone on to better paying work.
I feel happy. I feel real good, real good, because like I can bring this to my grandparents, and I cook them up a chicken and a greenie, and like I always thought I was just gonna be that little troublemaker, but I'm a chef.
I'm really happy that I was here because it's a lot better than being on welfare. It feels really good to get a check and know that you earned that whole check, and it feels good that you're paying your own bills and you still have more money afterwards to live more comfortably. The program is like gold for people on the streets. It's more than just a job for people. It actually creates a whole different lifestyle.
I think the most interesting thing about River is that you can come here, have a meal, have a drink, and change the world.